Happy Wednesday and welcome to Phoenix Talks on its new day and time of Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And I am joined with my lovely co-host, Diane RDBiase. I
Hi.
I am Micah, or Brindle Wolf, as many people know, and a quick shout out to everyone in the new Rise Radio chat room, which this is now a part of. So we are really excited to have this expansion.
It is. It's really cool.
It is really cool. And I can't wait for them to take part and start listening in. I'm going to go to my channel real quick so that I can see myself and see the chat and see what's going on. Turn it down. All right. So this week we are going to be talking about faking it.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean, faking it? Well, it could be a whole lot of things, euphemistically speaking, and other, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're going to focus on a different branch of it and see where that takes us, because there's so many different ways that this can go. But for me, faking it is putting on a mask and trying to be something you're not, have an emotion that you're not actually having, and trying to present that to the world as that's who you are,
In
which
essence is inauthentic.
inauthentic. You literally took the words out of my mouth. Because when you present yourself in a different way than who you actually are, I mean, yeah, actors, actresses, they do that all the time, and you don't know exactly who they are behind the camera.
Right.
You only know who they are in front of the camera. And
Right.
we're not, the world is not a stage. This isn't a dress rehearsal, guys.
Right.
This
This
is
is
reality.
it.
This is it.
You get one shot at presenting who you are.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the question, why do people struggle to be authentic? And why are they faking it? And what way are they faking it?
First and easiest answer is shoulds. And if you've never heard that or used that way before, shoulds are things that you feel like you are supposed to be doing, which actually aren't authentic to you. Because you're trying to people please,
Right.
because of values and belief systems that you were brought up on, and a whole other host of reasons.
Of programming.
Program. Yet inside, you're like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? But you do it anyway.
Why?
Why? Well, that's how I was raised.
Or even because they're afraid of the consequences, because somebody might get mad at them if they don't.
Oh, and that's one of the biggest things. If I don't treat them the way that I think that they want me to treat them, they're going to be upset. If I let them know how I truly feel, they're going to get really upset.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think we fake it because we fear. When there's no fear, there's no faking it. You have no reason to fake anything in any aspect of life, because there is a lot of branches to this beautiful little nugget.
Oh, yeah. And I just glimpsed down at the chat, and already we've got fear of rejection as one of the reasons why we put that mask of faking it on when we go out.
Right. Right. So
they
then
won't like me if I show them my real authentic self.
Right. So then I ask, why do you care? Why do you care? How would that, them reacting poorly to what it is that your fear, how would that affect your life and make it dramatically different? What are the consequences for you? Because usually there isn't any. It's just, well, they're going to get mad, or they're going to yell, or they're going to whatever. I mean, it's different in different circumstances. Of course, there's always that disclaimer. We're not talking about those circumstances.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always.
I always got to throw that one out there because I've experienced it, lived it myself, and I'm a survivor. So I get it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's not today's discussion.
No. But we do betray ourselves. Faking it are little betrayals. Faking it is inauthenticity, is untruths, how we present ourselves if we're not being authentic and we're living in that fear of rejection, of other people's opinions, of I shoulda, you know, I'm
Exactly.
gonna get judged for not.
Hmm.
Uh, all those different factors come into play with why you're afraid. So the what I'm going to put back onto you is the homework, doing the homework, getting to know yourself so well that you're untouchable because you don't have a reason to give yourself to fake anything if you are solid with yourself and totally, completely accept all of you at whatever stage you're at
Right.
continuously.
Right. And
Right.
also knowing that not everybody is going to accept you as you.
Mm-hmm.
And I can bring a personal into this because for many years I would fake it because if I showed who I really was, people would be like, no, 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 go back to how you were. We like that version of you better. And that's
Right.
another reason why so many people fake it is because they're told, we don't like this version of you. And getting to a point and getting to a comfort level within yourself and trusting yourself enough to say, well, I'm sorry if that bothers you, but this is me.
I'm
And being
calling out the people pleasers right now.
you do that.
As a former recovered people pleaser, I think that category is probably one of the highest guilty of faking it in order to make sure everyone around them is comfortable and accommodated, because that group to me seems to resonate with the highest level of self-neglect.
Hmm.
And when you fake it a lot in different circumstances and betray yourself in order to have everyone else around you comfortable, you're definitely no bueno. No,
No,
you're hurting yourself. You're sabotaging yourself.
exactly. And so a branch to the branch just kind of appeared to me, because there are times where there's a difference between faking it and setting it aside. And this one goes out to the parent. Anybody who's a parent and has children knows that from time to time, you're not faking it, but if you're having a terrible time, you had a rough day, and setting it aside
Mm-hmm.
so that that isn't shown, there's a big difference.
There is. I'm glad you brought that up because I don't want individuals to feel as though they're being inauthentic because they're putting on a face for something important. You know, I think that's fantastic to point that out. Thank you for bringing that up. I am a parent. I
Words.
have had to put that face on
Yeah.
many, almost every day.
And it's not necessarily to hide your authenticity from your kids. It is to not have to try and explain to inexperience what you're feeling.
You're just shelving your agenda for the moment. That's all. You can
Exactly.
release whatever it is you need to release in a different avenue, in a different way. You don't want to present that energy to your children.
Hmm.
You
Exactly.
know, trust me, I made that mistake. Don't do what I do.
I made many mistakes in my 11-year tenure as a step parent, so I'm well aware. And I was not able, in many cases, to set it aside because I didn't trust myself enough.
Hmm. Yeah.
So whatever I had going on got deflected.
Yeah.
You want to talk about living with some regret? Ooh, there, there's
Yeah.
there's a big one because I didn't fake it and set it aside.
Right. Right. All you can do though is give yourself compassion, and that's
Exactly.
true for all of us. Okay, myself included. We can only give ourselves compassion and give ourselves the love and understanding that we deserve. that we
Right.
give so much so freely to others, you know?
And when it comes to not putting on a mask and faking it, there was a comment in the chat room that says, and it's from Hildy, and how do we even know who we really are? Sometimes we're not sure about that.
It's a
So
constant discovery.
it is.
You're getting to know yourself through these conversations, even just certain things make you connect dots about yourself. I'm learning about myself through these conversations too. We all do. Just everything in life is a lesson and is an experience to help you understand yourself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a perfect segue into a phrase that we hear frequently when people are learning new things, discovering things about themselves, working on themselves. And I bet you know what the phrase is.
Hit me
Fake
with
it till you make it.
it. Which brings me to another branch that I wanted to bring up on the fake it till you make it, because there are many aspects of life where we feel like we are inauthentic. So I wanted to also address how when you're transitioning in life and integrating, Hildy, because how do you know who you are? When you're integrating into different thought patterns and behaviors, you're basically trying them on like you're trying on pants at the store. Do they fit? Does this fit me? How do I feel about this?
Mhm.
So it's not that you're faking it and pretending to be something you're not. It's you're trying something new on to see how it feels. Does it resonate with you? Is it right for you? That's all. You have to try and you have to give yourself an opportunity to be open to thinking and feeling and doing different and not feeling like a fraud for doing that. That also slides into and bleeds into uh, your career. You know,
Yeah,
there's, especially in this holistic world, there's a lot of imposter syndrome, like, well, you know, how do I know I'm really doing it? How do I know this? How do I know that? You know, honestly, it's not faking it if you're getting validation from people
right.
and feedback from people telling you what their experience is with you that gives you that necessary, healthy external validation. You have to stop telling yourself that you're faking it. Why do you say that? How much more validation do you need? Ask.
Exactly. Exactly. And trying to remove the yeah, but from your line of thinking, from how you act around, and in the quiet times in between. Okay, you have a success with whatever it is that you're doing, whether it
Yeah,
be in your career and in your family and your personal and your interpersonal, whatever the case is, you have a success. Boom, it
right.
happens. And then, okay, well, yeah, but,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you can start to slide back into that imposter syndrome, and then you feel like you're faking it again,
right.
just
That's
to
a
continue
challenging,
forward.
yes. And that's it's the most challenging one in relationships, especially when you have to allow a person a space to shift their thought patterns and behaviors as you are hoping they are, you know, post discussion,
Right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be open to giving them an opportunity to show you something different without having that mentality of, well, they're just faking it until they're not going to be that. They're going to go slide right back. Well, there's your clue. Then they are faking it and you should leave.
And
You, but you got to give them a
that doesn't
chance.
quick aside that really doesn't have much to do with faking it, but just a reminder that if you think that you can change somebody's behavior based on how you want them to behave, stop. You're hurting yourself, not them, because you can't change them. It doesn't
Right.
happen that way. You
No,
can guide them, you can give them an alternative to look at.
right.
And
They have
if
to
it
try.
looks like that alternative is being faked in any way, including euphemistically, it's time for reality check.
So let's talk about what faking it means and what faking it looks like in relationships, because I feel like that sometimes a lot of people miss red flags, and maybe this is kind of a branch that is a wobbly one at best, but we could try it. So like
I think it's one that many are afraid to fall off of.
I, whatever, we got wings, let's use them.
All right, let's fly. Go for it.
In a relationship. So how do you know if a person is faking it? Well, you can ask these questions. Are they taking me genuinely into consideration? Is my overall health and well-being on their priority? Am I being respected and considered the way I respect and consider? you know so ask those questions of yourself, because you might be receiving surface level stuff which may lack the depth necessary to fill those emotional needs. And so, conversations need to be had in relationships, obviously, so you can work together as a team to build that relationship that you need. But you can see if they're faking it, if there's no accountability, no behavior has changed, no evidence of understanding your perspective via verbal, physical, whatever methods. Okay.
The slippery slope.
The slippery slope. You have to be able to discern if they are manipulating you in some way or gaslighting you in some way, and that happens with you knowing yourself well. So again, that work is important for you to be able to understand where in relationships someone is faking it. And this is any kind of relationship, family, friendships, coworkers, okay? Like most especially intimate romantic ones.
Right.
You're going to have to decide, are they being honest? Do their actions match and align with their words? Consistency. It can't just be for 2 weeks and then for another couple of months it's back to the same and then maybe the next time it's for a month and then it's back to the same and then maybe the next time it's for about a week and a half and then it's back to the same. That's your cue to leave.
That's also your cue that it is building into some type of abusive manipulation.
It is abusive. You're already in it. I'm just calling it right out.
Yep. And they've been faking it for their own needs.
Right.
And another way of looking at faking it is just plain dishonesty. Because if you're faking it, and I'm not talking about faking it to make it, putting on a smile while you're learning something new, taking all the hits that you can take with grace and stride. I'm talking about lying to yourself.
Yeah.
That's faking it. And that is going to be the mask that you take with you and put on. And some are going to see right through it.
Mm-hmm.
Diane and I probably would.
No, you're not okay.
No, you're not.
No, you're not fine.
But thank you. A lot of times, and this was actually in the blurb that I put on Facebook, those very quotes, because a lot of times that's how we do it.
Yeah.
That's how we present our dishonesty to ourselves, because we're afraid that people don't want to hear. And quite honestly, most don't.
They don't.
So we fake it to please them. And then as soon as we start blah, 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 about what's actually going on and how we feel, because let me tell you, any of my friends know, you ask me how I am, that can be a loaded question. and many regret asking. And I probably look down at my phone right now into the chat room and see my co-host for the messengers coming up soon, laughing hysterically because she knows. But seriously,
we all gotta
if somebody
do that.
comes up and says, "Hey, how you doing?" and you're like, "I'm okay." Really? How are things going? Oh, they're
Try
going.
saying instead, I am well. If you don't want to, only if you don't want to, or they're not the right person to express anything to, because that is a truth. Because overall, you are well, despite these interesting challenges that you're navigating through.
Exactly.
So you're not obligated to tell everybody the truth or how you're doing. Okay. So if you don't want to be authentic to yourself, say, I am well. It's very vague, general, and true.
One of my go-tos is I'm breathing.
There you go. Another
Because
vague,
if I got
statement.
nothing else to be thankful for, if I got nothing else that I'm happy
That's
about,
right.
I still got breath.
That's right.
And a suggestion that came to mind was, if you don't want to fake it and you don't want to just say, I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm fine, when that's a lie, say, I'm not that great. And if you want to hear about it, because I know right now we don't really have time, but if you ever want to hear about it, I'd love to share what's actually going on.
There you go.
And that's being real. And that's also
Yeah.
respecting the other person, which I don't do enough.
Yeah.
But we're all different.
We're all different. Use whatever phrase feels good to you that's honest, like I'm getting through it, I'm navigating, riding the waves, whatever. Whatever works for you. Just say something that's not faking it to try to make someone else comfortable and
Exactly.
not betraying yourself either.
Right.
Even the idea of the terms faking it is telling you that you're being inauthentic. And you want to do more that's aligned with who you are in order to be who you are. And you can't truly show up for yourself if you are pretending to be what other people expect you to be for their needs.
Exactly. I want to paint a picture real quick. Imagine you're at a party talking to a friend and you see somebody walk in and they are dressed to the nines, hair's done perfectly, makeup's done perfectly. They have the perfect dress on and you're watching them. And on the outside, they're smiling. But as you watch them, you watch their hand gestures, you watch their eyebrows, you watch their facial tension, the color of their skin, things that you don't even realize that you're seeing. And all of a sudden, you get this feeling of, wonder what's wrong with her. How many times? Because I know that's just a picture that I was shown in my head to give for that example. But our bodies won't let us fake it. We think we are. We think that we are putting on the brave face. We think that we're putting on the perfect, nobody's going to be able to see me face when we go out. And the exact opposite is true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your body is going to, work against you on that one.
Yeah. And if individuals around you are unpleasant and react poorly with regards to your honesty and your truth, then maybe they're not individuals who have your health and well-being as their priority. So maybe it's time to reevaluate how much effort and energy you give to them and how much in your life they are. I mean, I know that's different for the different circumstances, but it's a reminder that it's your choice. You don't have to keep faking it. You don't. That's not helping you. That's actually betraying yourself
Right.
and sabotaging you. And
And
stop
another,
beating yourself when it comes to your, other aspects of life that you receive positive feedback. Stop doubting yourself. Stop
exactly.
telling yourself that you're faking it there. That's not fair. So you're
I have
lying
an
yourself
extreme
one off.
example.
Go
I have
for
an
it.
extreme example. Most of us here know who Celine Dion is. For years, she was hiding an illness that she had, faking it the best that she could, until now she can't. And she had to get to a level of pain and reality of what was going on for her to come out and say, this is what's going on. And watching, you don't know which is killing her more, the fact that she has to live with this, or the fact that she can't do what it is that she loves.
Mhm.
So when you think about putting on a mask and not being authentic to yourself and not being authentic to the people around you, you are hurting you the most.
Yeah. We don't want you to do that. That's why
No, stop it.
that's why we're having these chats.
Yeah, stop it.
And I love that we keep it light, but we touch lightly on those
Yeah,
challenging subjects, which
yeah,
both of us are available to chat with and with y'all on.
100%, 100%. Because we want to keep this enjoyable and informative at the same time.
Right.
There is, and this is, okay, we got about 10, 15 minutes left. But we kind of danced around this a little bit. But there is one aspect of faking it that there are some that use it at a dangerous level. And I'm talking about those who fake that there is nothing happening to them in a relationship.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And probably the most difficult to talk about and hear for some.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that you started into this relationship with your own set of programming that you were brought up with people pleasing and all the shoulds, and I need to do this and I have to act that way. It's bad enough that you have that going on and trying to at times fake it in the world that everything's okay. Then you add the manipulation of somebody else faking that everything they do is because they love you.
That's very dangerous. That's
And
definitely.
then saying, why do you make me do these things? You know they make me angry. And we won't get graphic, but little extra makeup, long sleeves, stares. This is the kind of faking it. Please, if experiencing now, watching this, stop.
I'm also going to address the individuals who say, but I'm not hit. And that's a giant red flag. Giant
Uh-huh.
red flag. So you're not being honest with yourself, and you need to investigate and do research on what the full breadth and cycles of unhealthy are. And I'm choosing my words very gingerly.
Yeah, we both are. And we're just trying to keep it as light as possible while addressing a very serious.
Yes, Marie's
Hello,
making
Marie.
keeping it light. Yes, but
But
yeah,
yes, if this is something that you're experiencing, please don't fake it. Please escape it.
right. And I will tell you that more people will relate to you than not. And it is no indicator of your level of intelligence or anything like that, or you as a person. There's nothing to feel shame. That's all lies that you were told by a fake person.
Yes.
Um, I always got to throw in those little disclaimers because there's a lot of that, unfortunately, based on our programming, generally speaking, as a whole. So there's a lot, unfortunately, of unhealthy programming that we all learned.
Right.
So most of us are experiencing unhealthy. And
But, just to lighten it up a bit, it's unnatural for us not to be joyful.
yes, yes, yes,
Stress is unnatural.
correct,
Anger, while natural, isn't our natural state.
correct.
We did not come into this world with mental illness. We came into this world, every single human being born yesterday, today, tomorrow, was born with 100% mental wellness.
And of course, there's a lot of those in that percentage that didn't have their emotional brain develop properly from ages 0 to 7.
Right. But
So,
when we come into this world, we're a blank slate. We
right,
are nothing but joy. We are nothing but love.
right, right. So understand that you can return to that. And that's what all this
Yes,
healing and self-love and caring for yourself is about, being authentic and not disrespecting yourself, teaching people how to treat
exactly.
you. It's very important.
Exactly. And you don't have to fake it. You don't have to fake joy. You don't have to fake love. You don't have to fake that you're happy. You either are or you're
Or
not.
you're not. You create it, so you decide if you are, period. No one else can make that determination for you. You are not obligated to make other people comfortable.
Nope.
You are your first priority.
Now, if you invite somebody into your home and you are playing hospitality, different story. There's differences between shoulds and agreements. Whole nother conversation for another time. Which that one we kind of dance on every single week. The difference between shoulds and agreements.
Well, I think we kind of have to, though.
Yeah.
Because shoulds and agreements are very similar, like judgment and discernment.
Exactly. And if you're faking it, you're shooting on yourself.
Yes, you are.
Have fun captions, okay?
Do
I
we
love
have any
saying
other
caption for that one. It never says shoulding.
Do we have any other comments?
They've been agreeing with us, laughing with us.
Oh, that's great.
I got George saying stress kills, and it
It
does.
does.
Really
It
does.
does. Your body is releasing all this cortisol that it's not supposed to release 24/7. Of course, it's going to damage you physically. That's why we have autoimmune diseases and all kinds of physical ailments.
Yeah,
There's dis-ease
absolutely.
that occurs in the body. Louise Hay was good at talking about all that stuff when she was talking about self-love and what damages that it does to the body. If you're going old school.
It's going back a ways.
There's newer ones now, like Joe Dispenza and the Greg, you know what I mean? Like they got the research now to back it up.
Yeah, yeah. And he's spent years looking at all of that.
Right. Right.
I mean, he doesn't do virtual events. All of his events are in person because he wants to be able to. I mean, shoot, they take blood at the beginning of the event to see what the level or what they're looking for, what the levels are at the beginning of the event, and then they take the blood again and run it through tests to see how it's changed.
Yeah.
So he's actually scientifically going through all of the process, and it's kind of an amazing journey to watch. He ain't faking it.
It's on my to-do list of you gotta have one of these trips. Hashtag motivation.
Hashtag incentive, yes.
Yes,
But
indeed.
any
But
other branches we should go down? We got about 2 or 3 minutes left.
okay, so I'm gonna say that the biggest branch that I want to talk about with this faking it piece is just the reminder of authenticity and how authenticity is the highest vibration. Now that we're talking about scientific research backing it up, there is for that. And
Yes.
if you're living in fear of other people's reactions, that's your red flag to get the heck out of there. That ain't cool.
No.
And authenticity, if someone's not okay with your authenticity, then you got to go find the people who are. There's billions of people on the planet. Billions.
And anyone, anywhere, can come up with a reason to stay where they are. Anyone. And there is always a way. It may not seem like it may not feel like it, but if you're having to fake it, well, congratulations, because you have already proven to yourself and everyone around you that you are a creative, capable human being who can do something. And if you can fake it, you can make it.
Yes.
Conversely.
Yes, because technically, if you're doing it, you're not faking it. It's actually happening. Is
Just
it in
saying.
alignment with you, though?
Right.
That part.
Right. That part.
Is it
All right.
authentic?
We gave him a lot to
Nibble on.
chow down on this week.
Just an appetizer.
just a little appetizer.
Little snack. We always have great conversations. I hope
Yes, we do.
everyone
Yes,
enjoyed
we do.
it.
And unless you got inspired, I did not. Through our conversation, what we're going to talk about next week, we'll figure it out between now and then.
Yes. And you know, something came to me while I was camping this weekend, and it's now gone. But it will come back to me before next Wednesday, I promise.
But either way, next week we will be back, same time, same channel. Come back to Micah Grant on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you know when we go live, and it's a lot easier to find.
Yes. And
on behalf of Diane and myself and Rise Radio and Evolve and Emerge, because this is all over the place now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we will be back next week with a topic. We don't know yet,
yes,
but we'll figure it out by then.
Dun,
all right.
dun, dun.
Till then, make it a great week. We love you.
And do it. Don't fake it.